You're listening to another episode of Badass Mums.
I'm Tneek, a female rapper and bid professional.
I'm Shahlaa Tahira, presenter and content creator.
And I'm Cilla, singer-songwriter and all-round creative.
Together, we are Badass Mums.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Mums. Today we have a very special guest. She is a UK R&B singer and has just released her project called Closure Tapes. It's Mnelia. Hey.
I'm like cheesing so hard, and I'm like, they can't hear me cheesing.
Yeah.
Sorry, the swag as well.
In it.
I'm trying to fix myself. I'm like, oh.
You look good.
You know, the time you
amazing.
don't actually have the time to check the mirror before you leave. You're just like swoop, 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 and out. That was
Yeah,
it today. So
yeah.
Thank you. I'm honoured.
So how have you been?
I've been alright. I've been great. I have been great. I've actually been very, very good. I'm happy. I can't complain because there was a point, I think just throughout the past couple of years where I was like really, really low, so I can proper appreciate how I feel now.
Really?
Yeah. I can really appreciate, like, it feels like a height.
I love that.
I'm trying to stay here.
Right.
It's good you can acknowledge that as well, because a lot of people will be in that and not realise it. So to see that you've come out of it and can look back and go, yes, I'm happier.
I know what the ghetto looks like. I'm familiar. So, and I legit say every single thing that I do is to get myself out of the ghetto, the mental ghetto, emotional, physical, everything, environmental. Like, I just want bliss.
Of course.
So when I get it, I'm like,
Yeah.
sure.
So let the listeners know, is it just one child that you have?
Yes. I
Yeah.
have 1 2-year-old. I'm in a terrible team.
Oh, me too. And so is Tneek.
I'm so sorry, guys. My condolences.
And boys, also boys as well.
Boys.
Yeah, all boys. All of us.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So how's these terrible twos treating you?
It's not treating me. As a matter of fact, it's tormenting me.
Oh,
like, I spend
really?
so much time at this boy's mercy. Like, and it's like he doesn't even realise, like, it's not like mummy's got a chill job that doesn't demand a lot of her already. Like, I'm a musician, for crying out loud, child.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's already so taxing. But regardless of whatever job you do, having a 2-year-old is not, it's just not the Lord's work.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all. So
They're
how do you
amazing.
balance that with, obviously, your music career, you know, going out
I don't think I
recording?
do.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, I don't.
I mean, but you're doing it.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say that it's because of balance. I think it's because, you know, like, just as whether you're a mum, whatever it is, like, when life actions and you have to do something, it has to get done. So I'm consistently in pilot mode.
Yes.
Like, I wake up in the morning, and what I do know is my child is going to get hungry within the first half an hour. So even if I'm tired, I'm up zombie downstairs, grab a fruit, get him water, come back upstairs, like, set him up however he wants to sit down. Sometimes he just wants to play with his dinosaurs. Sometimes he wants to watch Blippy or whatever his chosen is for the day. Like, I'm doing all of that in pilot mode. A lot of the time, I'm even being like an artist on pilot mode, because it's like, all right, cool, A, B, C, D, E needs to be fulfilled. Let me just tick everything in the day.
Yeah,
is
it's like a to-do list. Yeah.
That's my day. Like, I can't wait to get to the point where I'm like, okay, this is my tick sheet, but this is also how I desire to spend my day.
Yeah.
I'm just not there yet.
But that's interesting, because you said you're in a happier place, but are you able to still find the joy even when you're in pilot mode?
Absolutely.
Oh,
and
good.
it's mad because I attribute all of my happiness now not to a change of circumstance or change of anything other than change of perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
now, instead of looking at things and being like, oh, wow, life is treating me wicked and bad, I'm more like, you know what? I have breath in my lungs. I have 2 able legs that, like, I can get up, means I can get up and just do everything that I need to do. Like, and these are things that you can't take for granted, and you should feel like like, life is life. Like, anything could hit you. Like, no matter what your circumstance is, as long as you've got breath in your lungs, it doesn't even matter what your circumstance is, you still have an option to choose more for yourself, is what I believe.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm at now.
So talk to us about when you found out you was pregnant, because I mean, that was still in the midst of your career, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like?
So Say Yeah was released on the 4th of February. I found out I was pregnant on the 11th of March.
Oh my gosh, so close.
But Say was huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the 11th of March was also the day that we went into lockdown.
Oh.
So you're with us with the pandemic pregnancies as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Let me tell you something about that pandemic and pregnancy. I never ever after like maybe I think I recovered a year after Raie was born, but I couldn't see the letter P. I couldn't. I had
It's triggering.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't like anything to do with. As soon as I hear, like, are you gonna say pregnancy? Are you gonna say pandemic? Because both of them ravished me.
Yeah.
They ravished me. So I found out it was like I got 4 weeks of like a genuine taste of what freedom in success of my career looks like, and then pam.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Since then.
Life changed.
Since then, I've just been cruising, coasting. But
So was that at the time where you would say you found life a bit more challenging? Because for me, being pregnant during that time, hearing all the statistics and being pregnant at the same time, insecurities,
when they
fears,
was calling us
and the height of your
vulnerable
career as well,
Yeah,
thinking about that
everything.
in the background. So
Everything.
How did you navigate? How did you find you navigated out of that place?
I don't think I did. I think for a very long time, I was kept there until recently under perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was, I made all of the confusion and the lack of security and all of these things. I housed myself in it because it was all I was engulfed by. Because I'm 24 and a lot of my friends, I was 21 when I fell pregnant.
Yeah.
So like a lot of my friends were, even though it was a pandemic, you
So
know, like,
living the
when
single best
still-
life, sneaking out to
you
go
know,
have drinks.
They were just finishing uni, and I had quit, so I was like that. I was waiting for that period of time for my friends to be free and for us to have fun. And then I felt pregnant, and then the pandemic came, and then they freed everyone else, but I couldn't go out because I was vulnerable.
Yeah.
So when everyone was doing eat out, buy out to eat out, something,
I remember,
was doing
yeah.
delivery. And I just remember thinking the whole time, this is so unfair.
Yeah.
Like that was the one thing that I couldn't let go of. I just kept on saying, this is really unfair, this is really unfair, this is really unfair. I just felt so hard done by. And I think the whole of 2020, I was quite numb to it because I'd normalised it. Then 2021, it came crashing down. But it came crashing down with postnatal depression. So it was like legit Kanye West all falls down. Everything was like, it was helter skelter. But 2022 was like the trying to get the 180 back.
Right.
And then 2023 has just been like settling in my peace, kind of. So it worked out.
Right. And what about your relationship with your child's father? How did you navigate that? And in the midst of all of that, because that's a lot to have on your plate, and then also, you know, manage that relationship too.
I think for my age made it the most trickiest because had I had experience or like had I seen other people have to co-parent, I would have probably done a lot of things different. But I genuinely believe that we were the sacrificial lambs. Like honestly, like amongst our friends, everyone, like we were like the first.
The first to try it,
You know? And we're the first, like either you shoot and you miss or you shoot and you hit the stars. So, I think that we did a very, very good job of trying to deal with our circumstances because like we even moved in together during the pandemic and a lot of that was very strenuous because like he was quite far from home, he missed a lot of his friends and stuff, and I was like really close to home but couldn't access all of my support systems, so we only had each other and we were still quite
It's a lot of pressure,
like, we were still quite young, still like, and we're very, very, both of us are very like family orientated characters. Like we care a lot about our families, so not being able to be around our families but then having to worry about the fact that we're about to begin our own family was like a lot in itself. And in the most beautiful way, it didn't work out. But obviously that comes with its challenges in itself. I'm still trying to figure out what the realms of co-parenting look like for me.
Oh, me and you both, sis.
Yeah,
I'm me too.
You know when you're trying to keep the peace for yourself.
Yes.
Forget like for that, and I, of course, the kids matter the most, right? But there comes a point where, in fact, I'm gonna take that back quickly.
Yeah, I agree.
Take that back quickly because I've promised myself since coming out of that space that I was explaining to you guys that I owe myself honesty. Like unapologetic honesty. And if someone doesn't get it, then unfortunately that it's not for them. Do you know what I mean? But co-parenting has been hell for me. Only because, not because of anybody, but because of the circumstance and the fact that you can never ever prepare yourself for it. You can't prepare yourself for motherhood, and then you get into the room where it's like now you have to kind of figure out how to like mother in a different way. And at a point I just have to be like, if I'm not sane, I'm going to raise insane kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
need my sanity for my child.
Yeah.
So no matter what this is, even if we're not going to be together, like, we need to figure out what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And quickly.
Yeah.
And I feel like as women, we always hold back on putting in them boundaries. But I've learned that boundaries are healthy.
Very.
I need my boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes. Bottom line, you have to. People have to know your parameters in order to understand how to navigate around you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to keep on driving off the edge of the United Kingdom because there's more to go. You know what I mean? Like, that, you have to be very, very cautious as to how you let people deal with you, because it will end up becoming a reflection of how you deal with yourself.
Absolutely.
I like neglected myself so much because I was so busy focusing on appeasing to everybody else and conforming to what everybody else wanted me to be as a mum. But it's my first time out here. You guys are gonna have to cut the kids some slack.
Yeah, because I mean, essentially, you're a first-time parent as well, and everything's new, and then you're having to learn this new way of life with this new child, but then also now that's like fractured, and now you're having to learn something else that's new, and this
with all your old ways.
Exactly.
So it's like a whole lot of newness, but the tools that they've given you are old and they're rusty.
I like that
want me to build a house, but all the bricks that I'm using are from the Victorian times. Now you're gonna wonder why when in 2 years' time the building's falling down, which is what kind of happened with me. Like, he's 2 now, and I think, in all honesty, it's only now that I've gotten to grips with the fact that once you have to deal with this human for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Oh, I still have. Someone said River's mum to me the other day, and I was like, my daughter's 5, and I was like, oh yeah,
I'm
River's mum.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'm actually your mum.
And then there's also the fact that you have to remember that as much as you are their guardian, and it doesn't matter whether you're their primary guardian, you are 50% of this human being.
Yeah.
And you will only ever be, you will never be 51.
Yeah.
You are always going to be 50%. So as far as the other person is involved as well, this a forever thing.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So tell me, because I'm new to this life too, how are you navigating dating with being a mum, or is that not even that's not even on your cards right now?
Really? You know what, yeah? I'm not even gonna lie. I've tried. I'm a dip and go and dip and go.
That's what I'm at now. I'm a bit scared.
Yeah,
But what do you mean by that?
It's like, I'll dip my toe in like the water, and if it's lukewarm, I might put my foot in. But like, as soon as I feel cold patches in my out, I'm gone. Do you get what I mean? I'm gone.
Yeah, I second that. Yeah,
because my sense of security comes now from knowing that I can do the best for myself.
Absolutely.
Not only for myself.
Yeah,
and I can't compromise.
Yeah.
So I think, dating, I'm finding it very frustrating right now.
Honestly,
For multiple reasons. I'm not gonna lie. I think the main one for me is like, before I even get to the point where I can meet you, I have to worry about, when I tell you that I'm a mother, how is it going to be perceived?
yeah.
Is that gonna deter you? Because a lot of the people that will express interest in me, I feel like their frontal cortexes or whatever it is, the part in their brain hasn't fully formed yet.
Yeah.
Like, because like a lot of them are quite young, and I'm we're still quite young. But I don't know.
I mean, dating within your age group as
It was
well
gonna
is
be ghetto from
in the
beginning.
early mid-20s.
Yeah.
The men,
They're ratchet.
They're not gonna, you know, especially when you come with child. It's a whole different. They're not there.
Yeah.
And even I think being so public and like known, that must play into it as well, because you're like, are you dating me because you want me to feature in your track that you're to the industry? Are you dating me because, do you know what I mean?
That's true. Listen. Dating me will not get you that free feature, because my manager is not dating you too. My label are not dating you too. Yeah,
You hear that, Paul?
Yeah.
Like, if there's anything, oh my gosh, I had someone once like message me like, oh, you're so beautiful, and I was just like, thank you so much. I'm quite cold with it as well, because I've got PTSD for my baby daddy. I'm sorry.
Stay back.
I need a second, you know? Like, and after a while, like, they sent me a post. It was an old post. I think they'd done their research, or they typed in my artist name or whatever, and they sent me a shade bar post.
What?
Of me announcing my pregnancy. And I was like,
okay,
this is really weird.
Yeah.
Like, it was a screenshot. They sent it to me, and I was just like, okay, look, And then
Yeah, like I already know I was pregnant. You don't need to send me that.
You know?
How does
Yeah.
that make you feel? Because essentially, that's a bit weird.
It just reminded me that I have to do things very, very differently.
Yeah.
It reminded me that I don't have the free reign to act like I'm not doing the career that I'm doing. It reminded me that anybody can very quickly suss who I am.
Yeah.
So I need to decide what I want, and then if that finds its way to me, then yeah. But the most success I've had dating since Raie was like someone that was like 11 years older than me.
Yeah.
We was talking about
And
this
this is
off
what I was
mic.
saying, like the age
We was
group.
talking about this, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta go up.
You
so
gotta
it feels
go
like,
up.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
So what are your main like red flags and green flags?
Yeah.
Okay, so red flags is the biggest red flag, you cannot be a deadbeat.
Oh.
Okay, that's all of our red flags.
Tell him again, please, to the camera. To the camera.
You can't be a deadbeat. Is this camera on me?
Speak to the
You
camera,
can't
girl.
be a deadbeat, and you cannot show me in any way, shape, or form that you don't know how to deal with your responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be a man of principle.
Absolutely.
You have to be a man of integrity. You have to be a man that keeps to their word. So if you tell me that I'm going to see you on Monday at 7 p.m, I better see you on Monday at 6:59.
Click to
Do you get what I mean? Even if I'm going to leave the house at 7:20.
Yes, exactly. I'm with you.
God is doing his work on me. I'm a work in progress. But no, I'm joking. I'm joking. Nah, I think more than anything, it's principles and morals, and anything that falls below that I don't stand for. I can't stand for that, because I've come to realize as well that there are certain things that I won't compromise, and those are those things. I won't compromise my principles. I won't compromise my morals. Like, I won't compromise my responsibilities. If my child needs me, I am there.
Yeah.
Like, whether that be because socially I can't not be a mother, like I'll be deemed as like incompetent or whatever these things are. That doesn't matter to me. The child is there. That is a responsibility. Your job is there. That's a responsibility. Your family, your friends are there. Those are all your responsibilities. Definitely. You to them. And if you can't, my biggest red flag after that is like the man that like talks too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They'd be the ones to tell your business.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, tell your business.
Like, I'm very private.
Yeah.
Because of the career that I have, and because of my child and everything. Like, just, being raised as we are, women of colour too.
Of course.
Yes.
The tongue is so powerful. Like, it's very, very, very important that I guard the things that I love. So I can't let you into my world of things that I love, and then you've now got access to speak on them and to go and speak of
That's
them.
it. That's it.
Nah.
And your
So
green
what about the
flags?
green flags?
Yeah.
Come on.
Green flags would probably be communication style. Like, if you are a transparent communicator, like, that's great for me.
Yeah.
Because I'll be very honest, and I need someone that's gonna play the level playing field with me. Like, you have to match my honesty. And I think another green flag is a man that lives for himself.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me be the biggest thing in your life.
You're not selfish because you understand the value that you bring to situations.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, I think it's so important when a man can stand on his own 2 feet. I find that so attractive.
Yeah.
And like, you don't care about what other people think about
That's
you.
it.
Like, you don't care. Like, it's not that you pretend that you don't care. You genuinely don't care. And I see that you don't care, because even if you were by yourself, like on an island alone, you could still function as the human being that you are.
Yeah.
You don't care about whether people respect you. You don't care about how people deem you are or who people deem you to be. You just live for yourself, and you live for your purpose, and you're driven by your responsibilities. God.
But to me, that does not sound like a man in their 20s.
Honestly,
Do you know what I mean? I feel like you learn that in your late 20s, 30s. I feel like in your early 20s, it's all about
Even
what do
some
my
of these
friends
early
think.
30s guys. Ciao.
I'm not gonna lie. It's quite mad that I'm actually saying this, but I think I can confidently say it. I feel like I have genuinely met the person that I could have a sustainable future with. I feel like I have, but I've also made it very, very, very transparent that I'm not at that stage right now.
You're not rushing
I
yourself.
need to, but obviously with time restraints, like, 11 years is a massive age gap. So where I'm at, I can chill, but he necessarily can't. So I'm like, that's the only crux. But I'm still I'm feeling very I'm in my selfish bag.
Yeah. I mean, even with like dating and navigating that, like having your career and having your child. So, I mean, when you date or, you know, find a man, where do you date? Is there some apps you use?
No.
Is there, do you meet them through people?
No. First off, I've come to realise that even like within my social setting, so like in one of my friendship groups, I'm the eldest, and in another one of them, I'm the youngest.
Oh, okay.
So, and like other than that, I just chill with my brethren who are like all boys.
Yeah.
I'm not the sort of girl that will go out and be moved to, because majority of the time when I'm going to places with my social group, everyone knows who I am.
Yes.
Right.
London is a small city.
Very.
Yeah.
That, number one. Number two, everyone knows I'm a mum, and they're all scared. Like, they're just scared to the bone. Number three, I'm not to say I'm not welcoming, but I won't ever give a male the impression that I'm of, you know.
You're not going to be moving to him, basically.
Yeah, I'm not even going to give you the signal to say,
Come chat to me.
Yeah, come chat to me. I'm very like, hi, amicable, friendly, platonic, like, with a capital P. Because the last time I was dealing with P's, I had a little PTSD. Yeah, so I'm like very cautious about that as well. I try my hardest to not be too inviting, because as well I'm so aware that it can be misconstrued and deemed as, oh, she's like, she's on, man. No, she's feeling, man. No, I'm not.
But then how do you meet people? Because I work in the entertainment industry as well. So between the kids, being at home with them and being at work, it's like, where do you meet people? Like there's, and I don't really want to date in my industry. Like I avoid it. I'm not trying to be on no rappers track. Do you know what I mean?
No rappers, none of that. No.
Yeah.
So I think that, honestly, you kind of don't. I don't know. I'm sorry. Remember, I told you I'm in my honest era. I will never.
Yeah.
But not in the entertainment industry. What you're looking for, you won't find it.
Yeah.
Because it has to be a superficial game. Like a lot of the people that do this thing are in it for the sake of the business. Like everybody's in it to sustain their families and themselves and whatever. So they're doing it for the money, which causes for like a lot of the superficial things, because that's the fastest way to get to the money. But I definitely think that I'm going to church. My husband has
No,
another
you
green
hear
flag.
it though. You hear it
Another
happening.
green flag is a man that knows his God. Like,
Yes,
a man that knows
definitely.
and loves his God. Like, I think is so important. Because again, that comes down to principle as well.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that's fine. But you not for me.
So what if you meet a guy and that guy wants more children? You're open to having more kids?
Yes.
How many kids do you want?
6.
Ooh, girl.
Go get to 2 and then tell me 6. I'm telling you.
No, I promise you, because I think my whole aim with my career is to be somebody that my children can look back at and be like, I want to be like my mum.
Yeah.
And I want to have that. I want to have that effect on as many people as I can.
So
Like,
if that means you have to birth those people.
No, actually, what I really want to do is have either 2 or 4 of my own and adopt the rest.
Okay, right.
Like, I really want to adopt, because I feel like kids don't get given the chance to be the greatest version of themselves when their environments are like, they don't like enhance them, they don't feed into them, they don't pour into them. I would just love to be a human gardener. Like, and it sounds like I just love to like
sweet.
grow my own
Nurture
little, you know,
stuff,
I don't necessarily have to be the person that bought but you go to the garden centre, you buy your plant, it's already grown. You can still take care of it, still tend to it. Like, I think it's so important. I love
that
kids
metaphor
so much.
So
it also sounds like so weird as well, like human gardener. It sounds scary.
I was going to ask, so what's your views on meeting a new partner and in the sense of protecting, say, your son, for instance, as to how early, how soon, or how not too soon to introduce them to someone new? Because obviously they've got emotional well-being as well, because I can see that you're very in tune with that side of things.
I think a woman's intuition is her world.
Yeah.
So I don't put it down.
Definitely.
Are you sure you're the age you are?
Honestly, you're really wise. You know, when you have a child, you have to grow up.
Yeah.
You know, and I think before I even had my child, there were so many circumstances in which I was forced to grow up. So by the time I was 21, I was about 27.
Yeah.
But there's obviously still, there's still parts of me that are 24 inside. Don't be fooled. Like, I'm not all the way there. I still have so much I need to work on.
Right.
But I think that, again, just your womanhood is your strength. And a lot of the time, the only reason why we fall short of that is because we underestimate it. So as opposed to thinking, you know what, this feels wrong or this feels right, we'll think this is what I have to go with because either somebody says this or there's external pressure or I was told, and you just have to go with what's in your heart.
Yeah.
Because your flesh is guided by your soul and your soul is guided by your spirit.
Yes.
And you just, that's the essence of you. I can't lie, I could never tell you a time frame because my son is really smart and he'll probably pick up that mummy's got someone around anyway. And I've made sure that the essence of me raising my son, the main priority of me raising my son is honesty. That's the main principle I want to raise him.
I love that.
Any questions he has to ask, I will answer. Because at no point should you ever feel like you need to go out into the world to find answers when they're right under you. And if I don't have the answers, we will go together hand in hand to find those answers. You know what I mean?
We were just having that discussion about the sex education things with, an older child, obviously, and another mum was talking about, showing a video and just being open and transparent about it so that, especially, boys, so that they're not going out into the world and just learning
from porn or their friends.
Because that's how addictions form. It's like, the information that you're getting isn't even refined. And now you're looking at things and you're like, I'm locked into this one concept of the world, but it's not realistic. And I think as well there's so many lessons that come in the lack of transparency, and I want him to be smart, I want him to learn lessons, but I don't want him to learn lessons that could have been avoided. And that's just I think just trying to use my noggin.
What do you think about, let's say, everything's going smooth with this guy, it's a couple years in, he wants to fly you out for, let's say, 24 hours in Paris, but it clashes with your son's school assembly performance. I feel like as mothers, there's always that pressure to, no matter what, the child comes first. How would you feel in that moment? Would you think, let me do what I want to do, which is 24 hours in Paris with babe, or no, I have to go to my son's school performance? Because especially where it's not his dad, I feel like when it's their dad, there's more understanding. Oh yeah, mummy and daddy's going to do something together.
Well, I mean, in any lifetime, I can't imagine myself wanting to be in Paris more than my son's performance because mummy's a performer. I'm trying to see if you got my genes. None of them. Do you get what I mean? But I think the solution to everything, again, is honesty and transparency. I think it's me sitting down with my son and being like, mummy does want to, I might want to go to this place, but do you want me at your show? And if you want me at your show, then I'll be there. And if you don't want me at your show, then I'll go. If you're truly okay with it. But in order for me to have that conversation with him, before I would have had to have harvested an environment where he feels like he can genuinely be honest with me. And not be like, oh yeah, mummy, it's fine, you can go, but then harbour the feelings inside. I think I would have that conversation with him. But I think I would also communicate with my partner and say, this is what I've got going on. So if we can move it, then great. But if we can't move it, then enjoy Paris. Because I gotta see my baby shine.
I love that.
I need to see I think my son's always gonna be the most important thing to me because in the first 18 months of having him, I went through so much. And he ended up being my pride and joy on the outside of that, and I don't forget those things. So
that's important.
We're kind of locked in. His siblings are in for a ride.
And what about when you obviously separated from your child's father? What was that environment like for your son? And obviously doing the co-parenting and going between the two.
I'm smiling so much.
Why is that?
Because I find it so funny. Everyone does this. They'll be like, what is it like? What's it like with your baby daddy? Or they'll be like, what's it like with your child's father? We always whisper it. It's okay.
I feel like as long as you're happy you're separate, that's what matters.
You can shout in from the listen. You can shout it. But I think like essentially, what has it been like since separating?
Yeah,
just in every sort of sense, or like, is there like anything specifically? Like,
for your son specifically, him and how he's found the environment as far as like going between the two of you, or you said that you lived together, right?
We lived together, yeah. But he was. I think I'm very, very blessed in the sense of like my son is aware, but he's not fully aware.
Right,
he's only 2.
He's still young, right?
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that we kind of bought time in that sense because it's like when we moved out of the crib, he was only a couple of months old or like a few months old. I don't know the metric. I can't remember how. PTSD wiped my brain, innit? Wiped my brain completely. So I couldn't tell you exactly. But before he was 1, we weren't together.
Yeah.
And he's never known a life when mum and dad were together.
Yeah.
And admittedly as well, he hasn't even known a life where he's seen mum and dad together, I think not more than 5 times.
Yeah.
So like it comes to a point where I have to like, as much as it frustrates me because I'm from a nuclear family, like I'm what I'm used to, I wanted to give my child, and that was that's where all my co-parenting frustrations lie. It has nothing to do with how I feel as a woman, which I think is like so misunderstood sometimes. Like people feel like, oh, you're bitter towards your baby dad because you want him to love you, but that's not it. It's not that.
No.
It's got nothing to do with that a lot of the time. I think it's got more to do with the fact that what I'm trying to give to my child, you're preventing me from giving to my child.
Yeah.
So like,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be this mad when I find my son's stepfather who is going to create that environment for us as well.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
like, but as of right now, it's the uncertainty, it's the lack of environmental security, it's the fact that I have to be, when I'm with my son, I have to be a mum and a dad, and when you're with your son, you have to be a mum and a dad.
Yeah.
But you have to play all the roles, and it's like it's as opposed to 2 for the price of 1, it's now 3, and I'm paying like for 6. You know, like I just find it. That's the bit that exhausts me a bit. I've never really had to worry about its impact on him thus far.
Right.
I worry emotionally about how it will form when he's older because boys need their dads and they need their dads around all the time. It's not it's very underestimated. Everyone believes that, oh, it's a maternal thing that saves you, but I think it's maternal and paternal because a lot of my self-security comes from the fact that my father was there.
Yeah, so
definitely.
And I find that with women and men, when they haven't got that strong male role model, they seek it out elsewhere, and that's how they get a bit lost.
I will be damned if my son goes looking elsewhere because like I've tried my hardest, especially before I had him. I made a point to say that like we're not doing this if we can't give him our all.
Yeah.
And I'm still there.
Right.
I'm never gonna let that. I don't think there'll ever be a point where I could be 10 kids in, and my kids are always gonna be my all.
Yeah.
Well, we have some questions from our season 1 mums and
Season 1 and 2 mums have sent in questions, so you can pick out of 1, 2, or 5.
Pick the juiciest one.
Oh.
I like a challenge.
Yay.
Okay, so this came from Brenda Juliet. She came on season 1, episode 9, traveling with children. She has 1 daughter, but she said, what are your top 3 tips for getting back into the swing of things after you've had a baby?
Getting back into the swing of things, like with men, or I guess there's so many different ways.
I guess you could do maybe like home life, work life, relationship. 1 tip for each.
Getting back into the swing of things at home, I would say you need to have your designated space. Like, even if it's a corner.
Yes.
You need to have, like, because one thing about them kids, they are invasive.
They don't know boundaries.
All up in your space.
Like, or even if there's a room in the house that you can get a key for and you can lock yourself in there sometimes, you know? Like, but that's how you really zen and come back to form with yourself, I think. But outside of that, I think it's very difficult to just get back into the swing of things in home life when you have a child.
Yeah.
Because now there's this new human being, and as a matter of fact, they're the most constant variable in the crib. Like, you're going to be surrounded by them at every single point. They need to be on your eye view. Like, they have to be. And if they're not, they're on the baby monitor. And if they're not, they're in the high chair. So you have to keep on going back and checking. Like, it's very difficult. So definitely have space where you can go for your, even if you don't smoke, quote unquote, smoke breaks in the toilet, running away from the kid. Work life, I think communicate with every single person that you're around that things are different.
Yeah.
So that they can like
100%.
really cater to who you are now.
Yeah.
Without trying to assume who you are and then form a character and then try and like I find it so frustrating when people try and assume what motherhood looks like for me. Like they'll be like, you're tired, is baby keeping you up? No, music's keeping me up.
You know.
I've got a good baby. You know? Like you just assume that my kid is like a pest, or you just assume that my back is hurting, or you just assume that like I'm still hungry from my pregnancy cravings or whatever. It could be some very jovial stuff, whatever it is. That's the easiest way to bounce back. As long as it's the same thing with relationships as well. I think is communicating what makes you comfortable and what doesn't make you comfortable.
Yeah.
Because a lot of bouncing back has to do with being in an environment where you feel like you can just be yourself again. Like that's the.
I guess your new self, because as you said, we changed so much as mothers.
Yeah,
definitely.
You need the environment to like form your own grace, but have people be gracious with you too. Which I'm still learning.
So we have a little badass mom's gift for you.
Oh, stop it!
Yeah, so just a little thank you.
I
for
like it.
coming along and utilizing your time with us.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks, guys. I'm a crier. Don't do that.
It's all good. Thank you for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
It was great, yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the space to be an honest mum.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's needed. Your story is definitely worth hearing.
Yeah.
It's a good story as well.
Make sure you follow us on all streaming platforms and online on Instagram, Badass Mums.
Daddy Baga!